My name is Temple Tutu, and I'm going to read you a short story called Identity Crisis from my collection Tales from the Temple. Identity Crisis. Temple Tutu, you're going to hell. Okay, you'd have to be way more specific than that to jumpstart a conversation with me today, but when I was 8, this would have been considered very big news. Oh, is it warm there? Should I pack lightly? I asked, very excited. I had never been on a legitimate trip before, unless you counted the times that my father, a drag queen, had blindfolded me and my brother and brought us to his performances the next town over. P.S. Even at 7 I didn't count these excursions as full-fledged trips. I was very excited about my first sanctioned vacation. This house sounds fun and warm and... But then I paused for a moment. Clearly it was not my parents who would plan a trip to some exotic land like hell. And I had certainly not heard from that scam artist who had promised me a free cruise if I shared my mother's credit card information with him over the phone a week earlier. Wait a second. How did I scam this trip? I asked, deciding not to devote any more time to considering possible scenarios until after I determined the legitimacy of the proposal. This was a girl affectionately referred to by the name of Bitch after all, and oddly enough, this is not because she was runner-up in Planet Earth's Nicest Person competition. She could have snagged 5th, but so couldn't Richard Nixon, so that's really not saying anything. It's not a trip, Temple, Bitch said, very annoyed. This is the reaction people known as Bitch generally sport. You were going to hell forever. Oh, so more of a move then, I said, pouring myself a glass of gin and juice. My parents had left us alone for the afternoon, and Bitch and I had stumbled upon the liquor cabinet after only an hour of looking for it. Neither of us had ever tried liquor, or were sure what it was, but they had a lot of it, so it must be good. You're not very bright, are you, Temple? Bitch asked, in what I would come only years later to realize was a rhetorical question. The truth is, I've only rarely been confused for a bright person, and it's usually rainbow bright, as the result of my colorful clothing combinations and the belief that I can emit rainbows from the palms of my hands. But the truth is that Bitch was no Albert Einstein herself, so I'm not really sure how she found herself in a position to pass judgment. Unless it was her 4th gin and juice that did the trick. I wouldn't say that, I said, stumbling to come up with a decent response. Fuck it. I had nothing. Tell me more about this hell business, I countered, folding my arms. Besides, I was getting really uncomfortable and wanted an excuse to fold my arms without giving my tell away to Bitch. I knew what a tell was, because this is apparently what I give that I'm homosexual when I walk, talk, or wear a dress. At least according to my 5th grade gym teacher. I had developed a fairly interesting gait to my step as the result of walking around on my hands and knees between the ages of 3 and 6 in the belief that I was not only a pony, but an honest-to-goodness unicorn. I admit this makes me a little eccentric, but was probably no excuse for my elementary school gym teacher to out the only kid in his class who could perform cartwheels on one hand, either one. Especially when we're talking about a man who enjoyed parading around town dressed as Batman in broad daylight while sporting his own portable gin and juice. Hell is a place that bad people go for the many bad things they do, Bitch scolded me, wagging her finger as though she were trying to bat a very lazy fly. For reals? I asked. Don't ask me why, but when I was 7, I decided I was very much black. This remains a secret dream of mine, to wake up and be 6'3" and black. I would actually love to wake up and be Michael Jordan, minus having ever filmed the movie Space Jam, of course. Actually, I would settle for waking up next to Michael Jordan. But at 7, this had yet to cross my mind. By the by, my 2nd secret dream is to wake up next to an 8-pound chocolate cake. I didn't know people got rewarded for doing bad shit. For a moment, I was ecstatic. I can't say that by 7 I'd ever done anything that would be constituted as bad, but if I'd known there were prizes involved, I certainly would have been a lot more gung-ho to try. Although, I suppose in retrospect, bursting into my parents' liquor cabinet and going to town was a pretty good start. No, you idiot, Bitch lamented. Hell is the place you go after you die. Oh, bummer, I said, as I began to unpack my bag. You really shouldn't get people's hopes up just to go and crush their dreams like that, bitch. You shouldn't want to go to hell, bitch said. Not that I believed her anyway. Bitch was a moron who thought she could pull some pretty wonky shit on me. Ever since she beat me up the first day of school, we quickly became best friends. This was probably due in part to the fact that bitch was, well, a bitch, and that I didn't care for people in general, and was confused that there were no other unicorns in my classroom. While I usually had just believed bitch out of apathy, I had to draw the line when she began intimating to me that she was second cousins with Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell. I knew for a fact that Kelly Kapowski was a fictional character. Obviously, the only real person on that show was Zach Morris, who had the tell of freezing everything around him. I'm going to need some more evidentiary support, I said. I just finished viewing Legally Blonde for the 11th time in 4 days, and had committed the entire script to memory. A year earlier, and I might have bought into this hell business right away, but this was not to be bitch's big day. Not just yet, anyway. You said Jesus Christ the other day when you stubbed your toe, bitch said. So what? I said. I say Jesus Christ every day. Sometimes when there's a lull in the room, I have full conversations with him. In fact, according to my gym teacher, I'm going to fork him. That doesn't even make sense, bitch astutely observed. Clearly my teacher had said fuck. I was trying to drop me yet another hint that I might just in fact be attracted to men. Maybe not, I agreed. But I really don't think I'm going to hell just because I said somebody's name. That seems a little ridiculous to me, bitch. Shit, we're out of gin. What's this stuff over here? Scotch? Oh, that stuff is classy, said bitch. They drink it in all the old movies. Which ones? I asked, raising my brow. A good movie in either my or bitch's opinion was Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and they certainly weren't drinking scotch on that soundstage. Bitch? Bitch had passed out, but then she also got her second wind. Scarface! She shrieked, as though she were scrambling to get the answer out on Jeopardy before Alex Trebek moves on to thinking about what he and his mother might be having for dinner that night. Should we try it? I asked. Give her, was bitch's response. You're going to hell anyway. What do you have to lose? Seriously? Yep, bitch said, as she chugged her first shot of low-grade scotch and slammed her glass down on the television tray we were using as a table. Bitch had clearly done this before. So that's it. You say one guy's name and you're destined to go to this place called hell, no matter what else you do in life. That's how it works, Temple, smiled bitch. I didn't make the rules, but I know the rules, because I go to church. Now fill my fucking glass up, asshole. I thought this was a personal diss. Not the asshole part, but rather the church part. Bitch knew my skin burned when I went into holy places. She really didn't need to rub that in. So what if I don't even believe in hell? I asked. What do you mean, not believe in hell? Bitch exclaimed. It's not the fucking tooth fairy, Temple. No, I'm serious, I said. I'm a Jane. No, stupid, bitch said, now speaking to me as though I were 6 years old, which was absolutely uncalled for, given that I hadn't been 6 in like 12 weeks. You are Temple. I may not have mastered much in this life, but I'm fairly certain I've had a lock on my own name since I was 4. 5 at the very latest. No, I shook my head. I mean, I'm a Janist, as in non-Catholic. I believe that above everything else, all forms of life are worth our respect and admiration. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Bitch said, starting to slur. The liquor was clearly getting to her. I mean, I don't like to see people or animals harmed, I said. It also means that as long as there are other people in hell with me, I'll probably be alright. So really, what should I pack? You're not supposed to be okay with going to hell, bitch said. Well, you said there's nothing I can do about it, I shrugged. What should I do, just mope around for the rest of my life? No, bitch said. I was really starting to piss her off now. You're supposed to repent and start to go to church, Temple. Why would I do that? I'm not Catholic. Like maybe if there were some Buddhist monasteries around here or something. I like a lot of that stuff. Plus, those bald monks really rock my world. That's another thing, Temple, ridiculed bitch. I don't know how I feel about the gay thing. What gay thing? I asked. You know, about you being gay, she said. Well, I don't know how I feel about your sister taking off all of her clothing, folding them in a pile, and then running around the block screaming the lyrics to Backstreet's Back, I replied. I mean, maybe if she ironed them, but otherwise, it's just unnecessary to fold them, especially when she's trying to outrun your big ape of a father while he's lugging around his 250-pound frame around the block, unsuccessfully chasing her down. Temple, bitch mused. Well, she could at least pick a different song. The truth is, for whatever reason she did it, Bitch's sister was fucking hilarious when she ran around the neighborhood buck naked. I don't know who Buck is, but I'm sure he'd approve too. I'm serious, Temple, Bitch said. You're my best friend, but I'm a good Catholic, and I'm not supposed to approve of that sort of thing. That's really quite the pickle for you, I said. Truth be told, I think this is the single lamest excuse anyone could give, especially someone who spends her afternoons masturbating with my good guy doll. I think maybe I should talk to my priest about it, she said. To be honest, bitch, I would prefer you not go all Linda Tripp on my ass over this. What are you gonna give me for it? Asked Bitch with a twinkle in her eye like she were Jennifer fucking Lopez. Get real, I said. I'm not going to give you anything, bitch. You're my best friend in the whole world, and you're supposed to look out for me, not use me to look out for yourself. Ha! Donald Trump is my best friend now, laughed Bitch. He and I think more along the same lines than you and I ever did. He said it's called hush money for a reason. You want me to hush up? You fork over some money. Oh, so that's what fork meant. I thought, that's definitely not what my gym teacher had meant. Geez, bitch, I really didn't want to have to resort to this. But remember that time you couldn't find my good guy doll, and so you went at it with Mr. Peters' Chihuahua, Clarence Habermassi? Stammered Bitch. You knew about that? Knew about it? I fucking taped that shit. Don't think I wasn't prepared in the event that it came down to this. So what do we do now? Asked Bitch. I think this is what Mr. Trump would call a draw, I said. Fine, Bitch sulked. Can I borrow that good guy doll for the rest of the weekend? Sure, I said, as long as you wash him before when you're done. Thanks. No problem, I replied. What are friends for? Then we clanged our third shot of scotch together in a toast of unifying blackmail, and both passed out in our matching My Little Pony sleeping bags. And that's when I decided never to get shit-faced with good friends.